Hi, my name is Misu and welcome to Misu's K-Drama Corner. We're reviewing Arthdal Chronicles episode 5 and 6 today. In the last episode, Tanya very cleverly says that only now has God given Tagon and the descendant of Aramun purple blood, just so that Tagon can save face. Nobody can come to him and say that he has been lying all of his life and deceiving people all of his life. I also saw in the last episode that Eunseum could actually be the reincarnation of Aramun, of course because he's able to write Kanmor, and Aramun was the only person who could write Kanmor. They give us another kind of a tease between Yangcha and Tanya. She's hearing all of the people talk, some negative, some positive things about the Igutus. So Yangcha just kind of closes her ears so that she can block that off. And again, I'm not sure what is Yangcha's role here because a lot of people now are speculating that it might be something of value just because they're keeping it so hush-hush. It might be like a shahati. There were some people also who were previously saying that he might be Inaishingi. Of course, that's not possible, but there were lots of theories. The queen then has a conversation with Arok. She's sitting on his bed. He has just been rescued because we know he was abducted in the last episode. And when we see that he's hesitating a little bit to open up, to be vulnerable, the queen quickly notices and she dismisses the servants in that room. And then they're sitting and then he's able to be vulnerable and they're able to have a heart-to-heart where the queen says, you know, I was really scared. This was the scariest moment of my life. And then Arok says that he was really scared as well. And then Taealha preaches and she says that only we can save ourselves. If anybody else is saving us, that means we are indebted to them. It means that we need to question it, and it means that we need to doubt it. At this point, the king is kind of losing it. He's on so many medications that he's hallucinating. He's seeing his father, he's seeing things, he's hearing things. And when the queen notices, she sits him down and she asks him, you know what happened, right? You know that people have started to accept you as an Igutu, right? And he tells him, no sis, I have no idea. And then he kind of snuggles up to her like a baby, and it's a very, very cute scene.
타곤 왜 이래? 날 봐. 무슨 일이 일어났는지 알지?
모르겠어.
So there were two very important developments in these two episodes. Number one was that, of course, now Igutus are considered a sacred blood. They're considered the blood of Aramun, and everybody now knows that Tagon is an Igutu as well. The second development is that Eunseum is going to be both Inaishingi and Aramun. So we also see now that the switch between Saya and Eunseum is the same on the other side as well. So now Saya is pretending to be Eunseum and he's pretending to be Inaishingi and the tribe. And before Saya actually goes and pretends to be Eunseum, he's met with a group of Igutus who attack him, but then when they see the pendant that was passed down by Ragas, they point to him and they exclaim Ikomahis. And we have no idea what that means, probably something to do with Neanthals or Igutus, but you know, we'll need to keep watching to find out. So Tanya's father gives Eunseum an iron sword and he tells him to use this as proof, go to his Ago tribe and tell them to surrender, because Arthdal now is going to be equipped with iron blades, and these are faster, these are stronger, these are gonna, you guys don't even have enough weapons as is, and then it's nothing compared to the bronze weapons. So what happens here is we see Eunseum standing next to a very, very big tree, and we can't help but connect the dots about Aramun's last miracle, which was when the Zelkova Tree cracks open and my sword is revealed. That's when Aramun will know his mission. So we can't help but connect these dots. Yangcha now is attacking Eunseum because he believes he was a very big threat to Tanya, and he's fighting, and of course his blade is not a good match for the iron sword now. And we see that the tree kind of breaks off, and because they're fighting in a thunderstorm, it's pouring, and when they're fighting and the tree breaks off, the lightning passes through Eunseum's arm and there's a lightning scar. And again, that has some relevance to it, but they haven't told us exactly what. Anyway, so now that all of that has happened, Eunseum now declares himself as both Inaishingi and the reincarnation of Aramun, and he tells Yangcha to go and tell Tanya, and that's how the episode ends. So episode 6 starts with poor Taguni. I swear he's hallucinating and he's seeing all of these things, and he kills all of the nurses in front of him, and then of course Taealha comes and she really comforts him. And then we have a conversation between the two leading ladies, the queen and Nirha, and Tanya is telling the queen that I was never able to hear your thoughts before, but now I'm able to. Perhaps it's because you're looking for a shoulder to lean on, you don't have any support. So that was a really deep scene, and it was nice hearing those two very powerful women interact.
오늘 비로소 마음이 희미하게 들립니다. 어쩌면 힘들고 괴로워서 무엇에라도 기대고 싶으신가 봅니다.
So the last 2 episodes were very Eunseum focused. This episode was slightly Eunseum focused, but we also saw a little bit of Saya finally. So he's now pretending to be Inaishingi in the Aga tribe, and we see a little bit of wit as well when he goes around the table and he asks everybody to kind of say thanks to the person who attended to him. So everybody is introducing themselves, telling them which tribe they're from and what's their name. So that's how Saya is able to jot it down and remember that.
은인께 감사를 드립니다.
대시장로 수하나
아고이 술씨 촉장 술사강 은인께 고마움을 전합니다.
술시장로 술사강.
Fast forward to the king now going to the shrine to take a look at Aramon's sword and whether it's going to speak to him, you know? So he goes there and Tanya can hear crying because of course now Tanya has a psychic ability and she's able to hear people's inner thoughts. So she's constantly hearing somebody crying. And I really like this scene because when Tagon is speaking and in the middle he kind of jokes around and he laughs, but Tanya is still able to hear a child crying. In terms of the direction, in terms of the impact, I would say that was one of my favorite scenes so far.
참고 더러운 이그트가 사명을 모른다면 난 아라문이 아닙니까?
Another big development. So remember how the queen comforted Tagon in the start of the episode? Well, now Tagon claims that everybody born in the year of the sinking wolf needs to be killed off. That includes Saya, Eunseum, and Tanya. And this makes Taealha realize that he might have visited Asasakan and heard of her prophecies. So when she confronts Tagon, he kind of flips on her and he tells her, "You have always fooled me my entire life. You made me kill my father and you're gonna do the same to me now that Ark is growing up and now that he's gonna be my successor. You fooled me then and you're fooling me now." So he's not entirely wrong, obviously, but then I'm sure, of course, Taealha and Tagon do love each other and do care for each other, so it was very heartbreaking to see, and we see that even in the queen's face. She was utterly disappointed and very sad and very upset with those words. So very, very brilliant scene, I would say.
온전히 내 편이었던 적은 한 번도 없었어.
그건 가장 간절한 진심이었어, 타곤.
Saya has been locked up and living his life under Tagon's command for forever, right? He doesn't know outside world, he doesn't have any friends, he doesn't have any people who truly love and accept him or even know him. I don't think he even knows himself. But on the other side, Eunseum has a very free soul. He's liked by people. He's now Inaishingi and he's accepted and loved by people exactly for who he is. We see Saya's longing, we see Saya's jealousy and his emptiness as well when he's talking about sacrifice and he says, "I thought sacrifice meant obeying and having no choice and obeying out of obligation." And then Chaon, who's with him, says that sacrifice is actually caring for someone unconditionally, you know. So, and he's able to see this now with his 2 eyes. He never knew something like that existed, but seeing that is making him feel more and more empty inside.
이나이신기는 아낌없는 위험을 받는.
So the biggest complaint that I have with this show is that it's giving us the entire story before it unfolds. I mean, if I already know what direction the story is going to take, where's the element of surprise? Where's the excitement? Where's the thrill? Simply, it's not enjoyable for me. Just action, action, action. I want thrill, I want excitement, I want to be surprised, I want to go like, I never saw that coming, you know? Well, now Saya has led them into an ambush. I would say his skills as a combat strategist are questionable. So the episode ends with Eunseum saving Saya very heroically. He looks great. And again, we see a face-off between Saya and Eunseum, the thing that was keeping me going, the thing that's putting this whole show together. So I will keep watching. That's my last verdict. However, I am disappointed about the pace. I mean, a lot of things happened in these 2 episodes, but I still think that some of the things were unnecessary, some of the things were dragged on for far too long, and of course I'm unhappy with the direction of the show. My biggest complaint was the fact that they tell us the entire story and then show us how it unfolds. If I know the conclusion, I'm not going to be interested in reading the story. So that is my biggest complaint. I wish it was shot differently. And that's all I have to say for this week of Arthdal Chronicles. I hope you enjoyed my review. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your thoughts, so please let me know down below. Until next time, you guys. Bye bye.